Hi everyone, and welcome to Our Ventura TV. I'm your host, Sandra Siepak. Our guest today is President and CEO Vanessa Bechtel. She is with the Ventura County Community Foundation. Welcome to the show, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Sandra, and we're delighted to be here today. Thank you so much.
We would like you to give us an overview of what the Ventura County Community Foundation is all about.
Well, thank you so much again, Sandra. And the Ventura County Community Foundation was formed by a group of very committed and dedicated community members. And really, their whole goal was to create an organization that could serve as fiduciary over donor assets. So we actually manage hundreds of different funds, over 120 million in charitable capital. And some of the funds are for scholarships. We actually award over 1,000 scholarships to local students every year so that they can pursue their higher education goals. We manage nonprofit agency endowments. So let's say a nonprofit has an endowment, they can stay focused on their mission, and we do the investing and the stewardship of those funds. And then we have hundreds of donor funds for a wide range of different missions and purposes. And our goal is to help them facilitate their intent, make sure that the funds are used appropriately, and that they have strategic and maximum impact. It's just really an honor to serve as the CEO of the Community Foundation, and our donors are incredible people that just want to make the world a better place.
And you know, the Community Foundation is really significant here in the community, but what sets it apart from maybe some of the other nonprofits here?
You know, a perfect example is our ability to help on the recent Thomas fire. You know, this has been a devastating incident in our community, and it's going to take a long time to recover. Actually, FEMA suggests that it may take up to 13 years for it to finally be over. So the Community Foundation is a perfect agency to take over, you know, helping to bring the Community Foundation together in terms of generating charitable capital. So we've had hundreds of thousands of dollars come in for several different purposes since the inception of the fire, and we actually awarded over $1 million to local nonprofit organizations that are responding to the disaster relief within the first 3 weeks of the Thomas fire. So it's been you know, a perfect example of how the Community Foundation can help assist. We're not taking any fee or, you know, profiting off of that initiative. 100% of the funds raised are going back out. But the Community Foundation is in a unique position to help, you know, assist our local organizations, you know, get the dollars that they need to do their great work.
Is that something that your organization continually does? Do you set aside funds for disaster relief, or you know, special things that happen within the community, such as this, or is it something that you just pulled funds for because of this?
Oh, that's a great question. So we actually didn't have, you know, a significant disaster relief fund. I think we had about $12,000 total. So when we needed to award over $1 million, we reached out to our community of support and our donors, and they instantly stepped up. I mean, it's remarkable, the generosity, and some of the examples. You know, the Humane Society had all of those animals that needed to be rescued and put in a safe place. They had veterinary bills. We had donors step up to help with that. Childcare became an instant crisis. You had all the Boys and Girls Clubs in our area, you know, responding to the fact that school was closed. You know, we covered the cost for a number of Boys and Girls Clubs so that they could, you know, do their great work, but not have to worry about the extra burden of costs. And
so everybody kept going, and things that were needed to be done were done because of the absolute, you know, work on your part, and that you stepped in.
Well, it's always a team effort. So, but you know, our job is to really help facilitate that.
That's good.
And I think we've done a really good job at that.
Now, let's talk about the Sudden and Urgent Need Fund. Would that be part of that, and the organizational funding, and what has that been used for?
Excellent question. You know, we had a local organization that serves our youth.
Okay.
And the wind damaged their roof, the Moore Park Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
And they needed to instantly get that repaired.
Right.
So the Sudden and Urgent Needs Fund was an effort to respond to these immediate needs
Okay.
caused by the disaster that were just unbudgeted for. So we paid the deductible so that they could get their roof repaired.
Wow.
The National Search Dog and Rescue, what an amazing foundation this is. And we actually, through the Sudden and Urgent Needs Grant, were able to work with our donors to contribute $65,000 so that they could house their animals and repair some of the damage caused by the fire. Okay. And I actually woke up the day after the mudslides happened in Montecito, and there were 16 of the dogs that had been helped during the Sudden and Urgent Needs Fund that were actually on the ground trying to rescue people and help, respond to the mudslides.
Right. How great is that?
You can really see the impact of these dollars.
Yeah.
And those Sudden and Urgent Needs dollars are so impactful because there's not a bureaucratic process.
Right.
It's meant to be really immediate help.
So these are pretty much key donations that come in from local companies to step up and help.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes through from individuals, generous individuals. But then we had foundations and in companies like Amgen. Amgen Foundation stepped up with a contribution of $200,000 to the Ventura County Community Disaster Relief Fund. Some of the smaller companies in the area, and then you had companies that ran employee giving campaigns to help. So this has been a really community-wide effort to really make a difference.
How great is that? I mean, we needed it. That was extremely important thanks to you and your organization. So the resources from the VCCF and developing the nonprofit, this all comes together under your banner, so to speak.
Well, we work, collaboratively with the community, but our role is to really help, solicit, get donations to help our local sector. Okay. And the disaster relief effort is a great example because we can reach out to other funders in the area. Okay. We can help bring multiple organizations together. Right. One of the initiatives that I'm most proud of is this recent 805 UndocuFund. Okay. And this is really a fund that was launched by several Ventura and Santa Barbara County grassroots organizations. Okay. MyCop, Cause, the McCune Foundation stepping in as a helpful leader. There were a number of agencies that actually formed to respond to the needs that came through the disaster for some of our most vulnerable in our community. Okay. And this includes our service workers, those that are in the agricultural business, that are really, giving of themselves every day to this community, doing some of the most challenging jobs. Right. And they were really the hardest hit in many cases during the Thomas Fire and subsequent mudslides. And so this fund is to get direct cash assistance. Okay. And the Community Foundation can serve as a fiduciary of those assets to help collect the funds, raise funds for this effort, and make sure that they go back out and have maximum impact. And so this is a great example of how a community foundation can really be a strategic partner in our efforts.
How do you build that trust, especially with large corporations, where their money is going to go, and how do they trust your organization? How do you build that within your organization?
Transparency. Transparency and accountability. Okay. One of the things that we've really worked hard on, and as a recent example, the disaster relief efforts, is we've submitted multiple community reports out on to the penny. How is the money being used? Right. And that is really key, transparency.
Because they want to know where their money's going. Is it all going for this, or is it going for administrative or other purposes? I think that's a real key component there.
Always, and I couldn't agree more. And we've really worked very hard to position ourselves as a fiduciary of these assets, a trusted fiduciary, which means that it's not just a matter of being a fiduciary is much more than just doing what's right. Right. It's a higher standard. It's really representing our donors. And we represent legacies for hundreds of donors that have passed on.
Okay.
And we are there to represent their wishes
Right.
and their intentions. And to me, there's
Absolutely.
no bigger responsibility
Right.
than that.
So the Sudden and Urgent Need Funds, which is called SUN,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit more about that and go into that a little bit more, because I think that's really crucial. That makes a big difference to your organization.
It really does. And we actually depleted that fund. I mean, we didn't have all those assets in the fund to begin with, and then we went out and we, generated support from our community for those funds, and then we quickly, within days sometimes of the gifts coming in, turned around and got them back out into the community.
Okay.
So we really need to rebuild that fund up because it's the way that we can be most responsive. I want to give another example of how important this is.
Okay.
211 is a crisis hotline that people can call when they really need help. It also helps alleviate the pain. If you're someone in a crisis, it helps alleviate the pain of needing to call all of these different organizations to try to figure out which is the one that you need to go to, which can be an incredibly overwhelming process. I do this full time, and it's a full-time job. Right. So 211 is a number you can call, and their case management will tell you where you need to go to get the help you need and deserve. So in the disaster, thousands of calls were coming in. Right. And the power kept going in and out. So the Sudden and Urgent Need Fund actually paid for a generator, an immediate generator, and then a permanent generator. And so we actually awarded $95,000 for support for the 211 program, which also helped pay for a permanent generator so that they never have to worry in a crisis of not being online. And that is something that the Sudden and Urgent Needs Fund can really help with.
So if an organization wants to donate funds or come in and be a part of your organization, how does that happen?
I just ask that they call me directly.
Okay.
So we are really a small and mighty team, and we want to give top-notch customer service. Our donors, our clients are incredibly important, and so we want to be responsive. I just welcome a call anytime. And our telephone number is really easy. It's 805-330-6676. That's my direct line. And they can just call and help. And the outpouring has been amazing. We had an 18-year-old waitress, in school doing hard work. Someone had left behind a very large tip, and she actually gave that to the disaster relief fund.
Oh my goodness.
So every dollar makes a difference, and it all adds up. And in this case, it's added up very considerably.
Yeah. Now, are you getting ready for more to come, let's say? How do you build your funding now for future things that will occur?
That's a great question, Sandra. Our role right now is to help, continue to build up the Sun Fund, but to also position ourselves for the mid to long term. And a community foundation is really uniquely positioned to do that work because our funds are perpetual. Many of them reset spending balance every year. And so we have committed to see our community through the Thomas Fire as long as it takes. And hopefully it doesn't take 13 years, but if it does, we're gonna be there. And so right now we've positioned ourselves to help with the mid to long term. And that includes looking at issues like housing, emergency preparedness for next time, language access issues, 211 awareness effort. We really are going to be there, and so we're definitely raising funds. I submitted a proposal for $250,000 just recently, so hopefully that comes together.
All right. Well, in closing, could you give us the website if folks want to know more about you?
Absolutely. It's www.vccf.org. So Ventura County Community Foundation.org, vccf.org, or you can reach out directly to me at 805-330-6676.
Great. Thank you so much, Vanessa Bechtel, President and CEO of Ventura County Community Foundation. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Sandra.
And thank you for joining us today on Our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. See you next time. Bye, everyone.